Admiral Zexthara's six eyes studied the tactical display with growing confusion. The human homeworld hung before the assembled might of the Galactic Coalition, 1,200 warships representing 47 species, each vessel bristling with weapons that could crack planets. Yet Earth's response to their ultimatum had been unprecedented. "Play the transmission again," Zexthara commanded, her mandibles clicking with irritation. The bridge crew of various species exchanged nervous glances. The Vorthan communications officer, his scales shifting to a worried purple, activated the recording. What emerged from the speakers wasn't the expected desperate plea for mercy or defiant war cry. It was laughter. Pure, uncontrolled human laughter echoed through the flagship's bridge. The sound lasted exactly 47 seconds, followed by a cheerful voice saying, "Sorry, we'll be right with you." Then the transmission cut to what humans apparently called hold music, some sort of rhythmic noise they found pleasant. "This has been playing for 6 hours," reported Commander Krill, his insectoid features twitching. "Our xenopsychologists are baffled. Is this a new form of psychological warfare?" Zexthara's tail lashed. In her 3 centuries of military service, she had conquered 17 systems. Every species had responded predictably to overwhelming force, surrender, desperate resistance, or attempts at negotiation. None had ever responded with whatever this was. "Analysis of human military capabilities?" she barked. "Primitive projectile weapons, basic fusion reactors, barely space-capable," reported the tactical officer. "They've had contact with galactic civilization for only 50 years. Their largest vessel is roughly the size of our shuttle bays." The Admiral's confusion deepened. Humans had been discovered 5 decades ago by a Centaurian trading vessel. Initial reports described them as a typical developing species, aggressive, territorial, but nothing extraordinary. They'd been granted limited trading rights and largely ignored while bigger galactic issues demanded attention. Until 3 months ago, when the hegemony decided Earth's strategic position made it valuable real estate. "Sir," the communications officer interrupted, "the humans they're broadcasting on all frequencies now." "What are they saying?" They're telling jokes." Zexthara's primary arms gestured impatiently. "Explain." The officer's scales turned a deeper purple. "Short humorous stories. They appear to be mocking our ultimatum. One particularly insulting example roughly translates to, how many galactic admirals does it take to conquer one planet? Apparently more than 1,200 ships worth." A low growl emerged from the Cathrak gunnery officer. "They dare mock, Admiral. Request permission to demonstrate our firepower. One shot across their largest city should..." "Belay that order." Zexthara studied the tactical display more carefully. Something was wrong. Her years of experience screamed warnings, but she couldn't identify the source. "Continue monitoring their transmissions." For the next hour, Earth's broadcasts continued. Their bizarre pattern. Jokes about the invasion, casual discussions about something called dinner plans, and what their linguists identified as memes, some form of cultural information sharing that seemed to involve considerable mockery of the coalition forces. Then the music stopped. "Good evening, folks." The same cheerful human voice returned. "Sorry for the wait. We know you're all very busy with the whole conquering our planet thing, so we'll keep this brief." Zexthara leaned forward, finally, expecting proper communication. "We've been having a chat down here, and we've decided to decline your generous offer of subjugation. We know this might come as a shock since you brought such a lovely armada. Really, the effort is appreciated. But here's the thing." The human paused, and when he continued, his tone remained conversational, almost friendly. "We've been preparing for this day since we figured out we weren't alone up there. See, humans have this quirk. We really don't like being told what to do, especially by folks who threaten our families. It makes us creative." Warning. Alarms suddenly blazed across every ship in the fleet. "What?" Zexthara began, but her tactical officer was already shouting reports. "Admiral, massive energy spikes throughout the system. Unknown signatures emerging from..." The officer's voice cracked. They're everywhere. The tactical display exploded with new contacts. Ships. No, that wasn't right. These were structures. Massive, impossible structures that hadn't been there moments before. They surrounded the Coalition fleet in a perfect sphere, each one the size of a small moon. Stealth technology, Zexathara whispered. Impossible. Our sensors would have... Oh, you're probably wondering about the ships. The human voice continued pleasantly. Those aren't ships, actually. Those are what we call deterrents. We built them in the deep system over the past 40 years. Took some doing, but we're good at projects when we're motivated. The Admiral's blood went cold as her sensors began parsing the energy readings from the structures. The power levels were beyond anything in their databases. You see, the human continued. We knew someone would eventually want our planet, so we prepared. Not just weapons, though we did build some truly spectacular ones. We prepared a message. What message? Zexathara found herself asking aloud. As if hearing her, the human answered, that humanity doesn't negotiate with bullies. We tried that once. Didn't work out well for anyone. New contacts appeared on the display, actual ships this time, sleek vessels that moved with impossible precision. They took positions between the Coalition fleet and Earth, outnumbered but clearly unafraid. So here's our counteroffer, the human said. You can leave now. Tell everyone that Earth is under human protection, and maybe grab some coffee and souvenirs from our orbital stations on your way out. Fair trade, cultural exchange, friendship, we're all for that. The Admiral's mandibles clicked rapidly. And if we refuse? Well, the human voice turned thoughtful. We really hope you don't. Because the thing about humans is, we're much better at making friends than enemies. But we're really, really good at both. The energy, readings from the massive structures spiked again. Every ship in the Coalition fleet was now targeted by weapons that defied their understanding of physics. You have 10 minutes to decide, the human concluded. And Admiral Zexathara, thank you for bringing such a wonderful opportunity for us to introduce ourselves properly to the galaxy. We've been looking forward to this conversation for 50 years. The transmission ended. Zexathara stared at the tactical display, her military mind racing through options. They had come expecting to face a primitive world with basic defenses. Instead, they found themselves surrounded by a species that had spent half a century preparing for this exact moment. Admiral? Her second-in-command asked quietly. Orders? She looked at the structures surrounding them, at the confident human ships, at the planet that had responded to overwhelming force with laughter and jokes, a species that had hidden weapons capable of threatening the entire fleet while broadcasting comedy. Signal the fleet, she said finally. We're leaving. But Admiral... Commander, Zexathara interrupted, her voice heavy with new understanding. We came here to conquer a primitive world. Instead, we've just met the galaxy's newest power, and they introduced themselves by laughing at us. As the Coalition fleet began its withdrawal, the human voice returned one final time. Safe travels, everyone. Come back anytime, as friends. Zexathara settled back in her command chair, already composing her report to the hegemony. How do you explain to your superiors that you've just encountered a species that greets overwhelming force with humor, then casually demonstrates they could have destroyed your entire fleet at any moment? The answer was simple, very carefully. Behind them, Earth continued spinning peacefully in space, its newest orbital installations powering down to standby mode. The humans had made their point without firing a shot, and somehow, Zexathara suspected, this was exactly how they had planned it. After all, as one final human transmission noted cheerfully, the best victory is the one where everyone goes home for dinner.